Okay, the purpose of user management is to create users who are connecting to your integration server. Okay, so this is like entire thing is admin task. So if you're a developer and you won't be having access to your integration server, so how do you decide whether you are a developer or you are an administrator? So that depends on the user which we create. So if you want to create any new user, you'll come to user management, add and remove user. So click on add and remove user. So you'll see usernames. So if you want create multiple also, you can create multiple users at a single time, or you can do one by one. For example, I am creating a test user. Okay, username is test user. Or if I want one more user, I will use test user one. See, the password below will apply to all users. Okay, so if you want a password, then you can give next to that password also, or if you give it here, it will be applicable for all the users, and you can ask them to change it. Okay, so I will create one user, say test user, and password is manage, and password is manage again. Okay, I'm saying see create user. So once I see, so there is a warning, but user will be created. So if you want to check whether user got created or not, so you'll check it here. This is the user which we have created now. And if I select this user, so by default he will be everybody. You don't having any permissions. So for example, if I want to connect, so log off the current user and I will try to connect to test user manage. So what's saying session terminated because he is not accessible to this particular integration server. Click here to resume. So only administrator can access this. So if I want to make him as an administrator or developer, so I have to give the privilege. So he is a test user. As of now, he is a everybody. So these are the groups available. If you want to make him as a administrator, what I do, I'll select the administrator. I will add him as a administrator. So I don't want him to access the integration server, and he want to access only the designer. Then I'll make him as a developer. See, I have given a developer role to the test user. I'm doing save changes. What I do again, I will log off. Okay. Is an administrator. 1 second, guys. Why? Give me a second. Actually, if he's a developer, he should not have the access to the integration server. Why is that so? So developer also is part of administrator. So he's accessing it. Actually, this is wrong. Okay, so when I was giving other trainings, I have changed it. Still, So in your designer, it will like in your integration server, you will see only a developer will be a developer. Now I would not be having other details, but I have changed it, so you are seeing that. Okay, so again and again, it will be asking the username and password because a test user is a developer, not an administrator. Only whoever having the admin privilege, they only able to access your integration server, not the other persons. But a developer can access your designer. For example, okay, what is the username? Administrator. I will change to test user and then manage. Okay, before clicking on OK, you can verify the server whether you are able to connect or not. So it's still fetching the data. If there is any problem, then it will display here. Should not take much time. Okay, he's not even a developer, so I'm not able to connect. See, integration server configuration verified with the user test user and password, whatever the password you have given. So again, if you remove him from the developer role, okay, you won't be able to access your integration server. So whoever having the developer permission and administration private administrator, so they can access from here, the designer. So whoever having the admin privilege, only they can access your integration server admin page. Only administrator can access your admin page, not anyone else. So I will make him as a developer so that this test user can log into integration server only from the designer. You won't be able to access from the browser. Let us save. Okay, configuration verified. Okay. So it will disconnect from the administrator and it will connect to the test user now. The same way, if you want to create multiple users, then you can do it. So these are the different groups available for us. So if you want to access your MWS and integration server with a single user, then he should be part of your central users or central administrators. So note down this point. If you want to access your integration server and MWS, he should be part of central user or central administrator. Okay, so this group is nothing but like all these groups. If you want to create a new group, you can create and you can assign it to the particular users. If you want to create your own groups, so then there is a concept called the ACL, very very important. Hello, any questions?
uh, what natural use?
I don't know, I'm not able to hear you actually. Sorry, your voice is breaking. Can you ping me? Looks like your network is slow, so that's why I'm not able to hear you properly. Uh, you can ping me. I did. Okay, the central user nothing but where you want to access with a single user. So you have integration server, localhost 5555, and you have MWS, localhost 8585 in your case. So with a single username and password, he wants to access your integration server as well as the MWS. Then he should be a part of central user. If he is a central user, then only he can be able to access integration server as well as the MWS. If he is not a central user, he will be able to access only integration server, not your MWS. So you have to create one more login in the MWS separately if he is not a central user. Okay. So ACL we call it as a access control list. For example, so how do you control access in the designer level? For example, I'm writing a new code. For example, say I'm developing a new project. I'm writing a service. So in a single integration server, there will be multiple users. For example, say you have a group of 5 people and 5 people are working on the same project. So what you do? So you'll be accessing the same integration server and the same packages. So if you think so your service should not touch by the others, then what you do is like you will lock your service. For example, this is my service. So what I do, I will see here the options lock for edit, unlock, and lock properties. So if you do unlock, unlock means no one is accessing it. If you want to get a lock, then you will do lock per edit. So whenever you see this green mark, that means you are having the lock. So you will be able to edit it. Okay. So now I will show you. This is a local. This is not a local host. See. So earlier we are with the administrator. All the development we have done with the administrator. But now I was logging in through the test user. So if I go to my package and if I see any service, you see this red mark. So this red mark means someone else is editing the service. Someone else has the lock on this service. So if I want to edit this, if you are a same level, for example, let's say this was done by administrator and you are a developer, you won't be able to unlock the administrator service. If you are a administrator, then only you can unlock the administrator service. But if it is a developer, you can do it. For example, see unlock lock for edit. So I don't have the lock. If you want to get a lock, first I have to unlock and then I will do lock for edit. So it will allow me to edit the service. And if I want to add anything or delete anything, I can do it. Okay. So if if you see this red mark, I'll go to this test service and I will try to change something. I won't be able to do it. It won't allow me to do it. But if I get a lock to it, once it comes to a green mark, then if I check this, I'll get a map. So this will be automatically comes. So when you are editing the service, other person will see it as a red mark so that you know someone else is doing it. So if you want to know who is having a lock, you can check lock properties. If you say this is owner is test user, okay, so you are the current owner and you have the lock. And if I want to see this red mark means some other user having the lock. So I want to see who is having the lock. Then I will go lock properties. I will see owner is administrator. This element is locked by someone else who is a owner is administrator, and when he logged this state. Okay, this comes as default. But what I want to do is, okay, so this is my service and this is very confidential. I don't want to see any other people. So this has to visible only to me. So we know read access, write access, and execute access, right? So this ACL is nothing but providing a permission to a particular service or a particular folder. So you will create a specific users, and you will create a group for that specific users, and you will create a ACL. So user will be part of a group, and group will be a part of ACL. So for example, what I do is I will create one user, like two users. Say this is my I'm working on one project which is confidential. Only for two users this has to be shown. For other users it should not show. So for example, say I have one group. I'll select a test group, something. A test group. No. So let me create a new group. I'll create one more user, then I'll do. So I have test user. I will create one more user called the test user one. Manage, and again manage. Users, no users were deleted. Okay, so I click on remove users instead of create users. So I created a one more user. So this EDA package has to be, sorry, this EDA folder has to be visible only to test user and test user one. So I will create a new group with the test user and test user one. The group name is test group. For this test user, no one having like no members in the test group. So what I do is I will add test user and test user one, both of them, and then I do save changes. And then I will go to ACL, and I will create a test ACL. Okay, so this is my test ACL. As of now, there is no group, so I have to add a group. So what is the group name? Our group is test group. Okay, so I added the test group. So do the save changes, and I will go to my designer. Okay, Control S. So I will click on the CDA folder, and if you see here the properties, I will see one button called the permissions. So if I click the permissions button, then it will show list ACL, read ACL, write ACL, and execute ACL. So list ACL means, so to which ACL group you want to show here like this. I don't want to show anyone except a test group, test ACL, test group ACL something. Okay, for only to test ACL it has to list down, and only test ACL should read it, and only test ACL users has to edit it, and only those has to execute it. Okay, so could not save ACLs for details because unable to modify node package EDA is logged by another user. Okay, no problem. So It's saying, so you are trying to log the service, sorry, change the permissions, but some other user already having a lock. So what I do is I will unlock it. So nobody having the lock now. I'll go and I'll change the permission. Test is here. Test is here. Test is here. And then test is here. Okay. Only another user. Unlock. So now it changed. So what I'll do, I saved it. I will, so if you see my package, so default server, my package, inside my package, I have one folder called the my package, and inside I have the one more folder called the EDA. So I will change the user. So now I connected with the test user. I will reconnect with the administrator. Administrator and manage. Verify server. Integration configuration verified. Say OK. And then it will disconnect and reconnect with the admin. So it connected. Then I will go to my package, and inside my package folder, you are not able to see the EDA folder. So administrator is not able to see that EDA package because he is not part of the that ACL. Since administrator is not part of the test ACL, he is not able to see it. But if you re-log in with the test user, you will be able to see it again. Test user or test user 1 also. You see EDA here because test user has the privilege to see it, but other users won't be able to see it. So that's the advantage over the ACL. Is it clear? Any doubts here? Any doubts on the user management and ACLs? You can define multiple groups also. For example, if you go to my test ACL, wherever I have created, you can add. I can add. I can create one more group and add, or like if I have the existing, so let's say administrator, I can add this group also. So you can give multiple. Okay. So this global concept, global variable concept is separate. So as of now, what we have done is in our flow services, whenever you're executing a flow service, and if you want to hard code some value, for example, I want to give some value to it. So whenever you see, there will be two options. So perform pipeline variable substitution and perform global variable substitution. And if you give percentage and some name, say variable 1. So this variable, if you click on perform variable substitution, pipeline variable substitution, this variable will be, so this variable will be checked in the pipeline if any value, any variable exists with this name, and value inside that will be replaced here. But if you check the perform global variable substitution, okay, what it happens is this variable will be checked here in the IS. So if you give the key, it will provide you the value inside it. So what will be the difference is, so if you select this perform pipeline variable substitution, if this variable exists in the pipeline, it will replace. If it is not existing, then it will create with the same variable, same name, whatever this percentage variable 1 percentage. But if you select perform global variable substitution, and if that variable is not available in the global variables list, then it will throw an error. Is this clear? For example, say disable step. I want to print the value inside the email. Yep, this is email ID, right? And if I give perform global variable substitution, Control S. So if you see this message, testmail@gmail.com, which is coming from here. If I passed only this, it came. But instead, if I select the message as perform pipeline variable substitution, but email ID is not there in the pipeline. So what it does is it will print with the percentage email ID percentage, because it's not able to identify email ID. But if I select the global variable substitution and the variable does not exist, then it will throw an error. So let's say email ID 1, and I make it as a perform global variable substitution. So it will throw an error saying that global variable email ID 1 does not exist. But if it is a local variable substitution, then it won't throw an error. Is this clear? So this global variable will be used when this variable will be common for all. Otherwise, you can go for the variable. Have a good